Hello! So, welcome. We are back doing our at-home crafts with our craft kits, and today we're going to do a water marbling craft, so I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing you want to do is unwrap your little glass tea light holder. And because we want a nice crisp line, we're going to take a little piece of tape and just put it right around about midway through that glass part. And this way, don't worry about getting it perfectly even, because we just want it to make a nice crisp line with the water marbling. Okay, I'm gonna straighten that part out a little bit. Great. Okay. It's okay if you have any creases in it, just fold them down like so. So you want a nice crisp line, so we're only going to be dipping this bottom part here, and that'll look nice. Okay, so you will find in your kit two bowls. One of them is going to be catching, for your drip tray. The other one, you're going to fill about 3/4 of the way up with some water, just like so. And now for the fun part. You're gonna shake your colors first so they're not all separated out. Yours will not be in the nail polish bottles, they're just gonna be in little paint cups. So much easier to shake, make sure the caps are nice and tight. And then here's the tricky part. You wanna make sure that when you pour your paint, in this case nail polish, into the water, you want to pour as slowly as possible, because you don't want the nail polish to sink to the bottom. You want it to float on top. Super important. Also, make sure that your water is room temperature. Okay. And also, for this project, we need to work as quickly as possible, because that nail polish will eventually clump up and get gross. So once we start pouring paint, we want it to be as quick as possible. Right, so I'm gonna pour a little bit of my green nail polish in. Okay, and then I'm going to slowly, very slowly, pour some yellow over the top. The first few drops will indeed sink to the bottom, but be persistent and keep going. Okay. All right, now you're going to take your stirring stick and you're just going to very carefully swirl your color till it makes a nice pretty pattern, so that you get all of those pretty colors all together. It should look a little bit like a tie-dye swirl. Okay, I'm gonna very carefully try to hold this up for you so you can see. Should look a little like that. Great. So now we're gonna take our glass. We're not gonna submerge the glass. We're just going to touch it onto the surface to grab that paint. You might have to rotate your glass, and that's fine. And if you have any holes in your design, that's okay. Just keep dipping so that you get all of your paint stuck to the cup. We're almost there. Okay. Okay, so you should have something that looks a little bit like this. That's okay if you got it onto the blue tape. That's exactly what it's there for, to catch those drips. Okay, so it should look quite a bit like that. So we've got some of those pretty swirls. And now we're just gonna let it dry. So this should dry relatively quickly. Now, if you have a lot of excess paint, you can take a paper towel and just mop some of that up on the tape so that it doesn't run, because we're about to turn this upside down to dry. And you want to make sure that you don't get any of that paint on the glass above that tape line. Okay, so I'm putting mine into a little bowl so that I can let it dry, just like this. It shouldn't take too long. We'll let it dry at least overnight just to be sure, but it'll likely be dry well before then. And when it is all dry, you're going to remove that tape, and then you'll have a nice crisp line. Let's see if we can do this while it's still wet. I advise you to do yours while it's dry, but for our purposes. Okay, removing the tape line, just like that. And now we've got it. We've got a nice crisp little line. So I'm still gonna let this dry upside down for about 24 hours or overnight. And then you'll notice you also have a cute little tea light. So you're gonna use this part as soon as your little tea light holder is dry. You're gonna turn on your tea light holder with this little button over here, and it makes a nice little flicker effect. Can you see that? It's too bright in here. There we go. And then you're just gonna put that right into your candle holder, and you'll have a pretty candle holder that you've decorated yourself with water marbling. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed our craft. Stay tuned for our next one, and I hope you're all having a wonderful summer. And again, this is Miss Dianne from Finkelstein Memorial Library, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.